But you see, Microsoft Word is a creative content development.
God almighty. Let it go, Grandpa. God almighty. We've been recording for 7.5 minutes. And you've been talking about Word. And this is
I think you're older than I am, but that's beside the point. Yes, let's move on.
So what's up, Peas?
That's a great start. What's up, Peas?
What's up, Peas? Let's talk about software. Let's talk about, yeah, I was going there, but I didn't want to get a content strike. So, why don't we, let's talk about what's our favorite software and what are some of the things that you need and that you use that you cannot do without,
I'm going to go first.
Has anyone heard of Ecamm Live?
No, we can't go down that road. No, I want to start.
Why not? That is something we all use, and we use it. That's probably the most critical piece of software for every one of us.
For this, yeah. Mm-hmm. True. I won't argue that. But I think in terms of being creative, I mean, yeah, every single one of us uses Ecamm. We know that. And how we use it probably is a little different. And that might actually just be a show for a different day, because I would argue that would probably be the one thing that we all agree on, or that we all have in common. Because the words that are about to come out of my mouth, it will be heresy to some of the people on this broadcast. Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is my favorite piece of software, and I use it every day, and I use it multiple times a day, and it's generally the thing that I put most of my thoughts and writings, and it's part of my day job. It's part of my writing for a night job. I've started to use Scrivener a little bit more to put together a couple of books. But the fact of the matter is I've been using Microsoft Word since 1988 on a Mac Plus, where in the computer lab, you were given a floppy disk. Remember a floppy disk, kids? For those of you not knowing what a floppy disk is, it was about, in this case, a 3.5-inch piece of plastic with a little piece of recording material in it that you would stick into the computer, and it would allow you to pull off programs and write documents onto it. And you were able to have on this floppy disk the operating system for the computer, the program Microsoft Word itself, and then in your documents that you were writing. So, from day one, I was on Microsoft Word, and honestly, of course, I'm going to get, I lean on it heavily because I'm just so used to it, and I don't have to think anymore. I know the key commands and whatever else. And, and again, I don't want, the problem with people discussing things on the internet nowadays is that the second that you decide that you're going to, like ketchup should not be on a hot dog, you state something like that, and then immediately people think you hate ketchup. And it's not that. I don't hate Google Docs. I don't hate, other pieces of software that you might write in. I'm just saying that day in and day out, I don't even have to think. I can open it up and I can get stuff done quickly and be done with it. I have to pay $99 a year for it, and I get all of the other Microsoft Suite programs, and I use a lot of those as well. But honestly, it's just it's old school. Fine, whatever. I'm an old school type of guy, and Microsoft Word is really the thing that keeps me going and keeps the creative juices flowing, because I don't have to worry about the software. I don't have to worry about learning something new. I can get the words on the page and move on.
Hey, we're all here to learn. You came in defending yourself before anybody attacked you. You're fine. You can use Microsoft Word if you want. That's not a problem.
I'm ready to attack if you want. Like,
we've had this discussion before, though. We've had in other forums we've discussed it, and I've gotten from a couple of you on the screen, not that I will name anybody flat out, but who have poo-pooed me for using Microsoft Word. And why
Look,
don't you just
we
use
know
Google
that
Docs?
Brainiac Pumpkin is an Excel freak. So, I mean, we all
Yeah,
have
and
we all
God
have our
bless him
bad
for
habits.
that.
We all have our bad
God
habits.
bless you, Alec, for being Excel freak. Because Excel is I have a saying. It's probably a T-shirt. It should be a T-shirt.
Get off my lawn.
No, that's the other one. Yes, that's the other one. Microsoft Excel is like the human brain. No one knows how to use more than 3% of it. And it's as simple as that. I mean, Microsoft Excel, most people use Microsoft Word when they should be using Microsoft Excel, or Microsoft Excel when they should be using Microsoft PowerPoint. We do this also in the Adobe suite too. People use Photoshop for things that they should be using Illustrator for. But when it comes down to it, the products from Microsoft just have been around, and they will be around, and they're improved marginally at this particular point in time. But people can build onto it, and there's a lot of things that you can add onto them to make your life a lot easier. And so I'm a little defensive. What about it?
Okay,
I think you're cutting a
piece.
couple of us short. Alec and I both use Excel probably way more than 3% of its capacity.
Well, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm making the point that Excel is a very powerful program, and that most people don't use it to its full extent.
Can we reset for a second? Can we talk
Sure.
about content creation tools instead of just tools? Because I got a screwdriver in there that I love the shit out of, but I'm not going to talk about it.
I think that's a great idea.
Is that the alcoholic drink or the actual metal tool?
That too. I've got that too.
Okay. Right. But you see, Microsoft Word is a creative content
God
development tool.
almighty. Let it go, Grandpa. God almighty. We've been recording for 7.5 minutes. You've been talking about Word. And this is
I think you're older than I am, but that's beside the point. Yes, let's move on.
Oh, the outtakes are going to be fabulous. I already know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Let's just round robin it. So, speaking of Rob, we already did Rob. So, what about you, Rich? What's your favorite software?
Illustrator. I'm an Illustrator all day, every day, and I can use it in my sleep almost. So I don't really have to go on about it. I've been using it since '88 as well. And it was called Illustrator '88, and you couldn't see what you were doing. You worked in wireframes or keyframes. I forget what they called it, but you had to go under preview to actually see what you did, and then go back into wireframes to make any edits. It was kind of tedious, but anyway, Illustrator. That's Illustrator all day, and all the Adobe stuff. That's all the Adobe stuff is. I'm in that all day long. Premiere for
And if I'm going to pump some
everything.
tires, Rich, I think you use Illustrator the way that Alec and Dina use Excel,
Probably
to
yeah.
a very high level capacity. Because when I've needed help and I've come to you, you can just make things that I can't even conceive. I have no clue what you're doing.
It's hard for me to teach it, because when you teach somebody, you say, go to the file menu and pull down to this and go to this, and with a mouse. And so, but I just do everything with keyboards, and it's just automatic, and it's just, so that's Illustrator's my thing, or the Adobe stuff is my thing.
What about you, Keels?
I think the most important tool that I'm using these days for my content creation is ClickUp.
Oh yeah.
Because it is my calendar. It is my task manager. It is my document producer. So if I need to write content, I write it in ClickUp, because then it's embedded and attached and related to everything else I'm doing in a way that saves me time and steps. And I'm not sending out letters to my congressperson. I am just writing things that I'm going to repurpose into the tweet that I'm going to put out, or, whatever the case might be. And that can all be in ClickUp for me. So it's all of that and so much more. My goal system, my whole annual planning is in there. I'm now putting all my resource documents in there. It is turning into rather a scary Borg of Keely's second brain. But the more I've been using it, but slowly adding little pieces, it's really helped me not to try to do too much all at once. And now I'm really starting to uncover the power of being able to relate things to each other, to automate templates so that I can move my content process forward without thinking, okay, what do I have to do when I do this live stream now? I have a template that just spits it out to me. And then when I finish that, it goes on to the next stage, and another template spits it all out for me, and then I'm moving along. So for me, it's the best tool that I've found in a long time. And I've been like Rob from Mac Plus days. In fact, Apple IIe was my first Mac. I've been using organizational tools like that forever because I just love that stuff. And ClickUp is now my jam.
Cool.
Awesome. What about you, Alec?
I think it's interesting that like we're all basically using a lot of old school tools, if for want of a better word. And there are all these new flashy services and things like that keep coming around. But I'm very much of the old school as well. So like Excel, I use Photoshop for my thumbnails. I'm nowhere near an expert in Photoshop. I feel like I just know enough to get by with the sort of things I have to do. But it's still like one of these sort of older applications. I haven't made the move over to Canva because I'm just comfortable in what I'm doing. Excel, I use that for tracking certain aspects of content creation. But for me, the thing that has the most impact is also something I've been using for years and years now, which would be OmniFocus for my task management. But then all of the automation stuff like Keyboard Maestro, Hazel, Moom, and Text Expander together, those 4 applications to be able to just sort of get ready to set up for recording a video with the touch of a button, obviously all hooked together with Stream Deck. But they're these tools that I've been using for years. And I think there's something in that we all have these things that we find are really powerful from our previous experience. And I think there's something to that everyone brings their own unique experiences and past life experiences, I suppose, to content creation and finds a way to use those in that aspect of their life.
That's what's up. What about you, Dina?
Oh, I made a list.
Oh,
cool.
Lord.
I've got a big long list as well. I thought, we're doing a round.
I'm not going to work through the list because I'm not going to get thrown off the lawn here. So CapCut, I've started to use for this is way highfalutin when I'm in the field, meaning when I'm in the garden, I want to post a story or a short, and I just want to get it out. If I have to do any editing at all, I'll do it in CapCut. For long form content, if it's recorded, I just can't get away from Premiere Pro. I mean, I love it. If I'm doing any photo editing, that would be Lightroom. So clearly in-house Adobe. And then the one that just cracks me up that I seem to use every day is Color Picker. I don't even know what I'm doing that requires me to use Color Picker every day, but I think I use it every single day. So
The web app?
no, the special one that we download and then we have that integrate with the Stream Deck button. So you can invoke the software to pick the color with the Stream Deck button, and then you can copy and paste the hex value. So there's that. And then the other one that I just started using recently is campsite.bio for my link in bio. What I like about it is I can embed YouTube videos directly in the bio. So I could put my latest video there, and the view counts still count and everything. So I can get analytics. I can tell where subscribers came from, things like that. So that's where I'm leaning in terms of my plan to convert people from Instagram followers to YouTube subscribers. I'm hoping that that's going to be the link that I've been missing.
That's
Not that it's
awesome.
going to drive the conversion, but I think it's going to help me track if conversions are happening.
That's pretty dope. Wow, you had a list. I actually have a list too, but
that was the short part.
I have a list too. But the one that I use every single day, every single freaking day is Canva. I'm in Canva all day, every day, and twice on Sundays. That is my go-to for creating all of the graphical elements of what I do. Also, they just came up with some new stuff too. So there's an AI component, which I've been playing around with, but my AI buddy is Jasper. Jasper is the other thing that I absolutely love. It's my AI writing assistant. The script is another one. I use the script every single day with my, in producing some of the stuff that I do. as far as editing. It's a really great editing tool. I used to use Final Cut Pro. I still have Final Cut Pro, but been doing most of my stuff in Canva, right? And then the script would be the next thing. So I haven't really, done anything much with Final Cut, but I'd say number one will be Canva. Number two, oh God, I almost forgot Trello. Number one will be Canva. Number two will be Trello, because Trello is my management tool. It helps me with my calendar. It helps me with everything. Like you, Keely, with ClickUp. That's what Trello is to me. It's everything. I have a million boards. And they're all connected some kind of way. And I can get information from place to place. And anytime I'm bored and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what I want to post, I can go back to my content bank because I have everything that I produce in there. And it's all organized. And I know where the blog post is. I know what YouTube video went with it because it's all organized. So yeah. Trello, Canva, Jasper, Descript. That's my go-to. All day, every day.
I would add Epidemic Sound too.
Oh,
I
yes.
use that one a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
For both channels. That would be the other one.
I
It's more of a
envy how
service
you
than
guys
software, I
use
guess.
it.
How do you mean?
Well, I usually just download music and I just play it on loop in the background of whatever I do. You guys have like the playlists and all the other stuff, and I haven't really dabbled in using playlists and such for my live streams or any of the content creation that I'm doing. I usually just have something specific and I just use that. So I envy how you guys use it, because I know both you and Keely, usually have a playlist going in the background. And then also you too, Alec, you use a playlist feature and it's always just going and the music is changing and all that. I don't know if it's my OCD wanting everything to be the same. I don't know. But yeah, I might dabble in that a little bit. I guess what I don't like is not knowing what's coming up next and having to pivot, because then that would be a whole thing. So I don't know.
Your show is very well timed. There's component. I can see where you wouldn't want the surprise of this song. Yeah, because you're switching a lot. Yeah.
And to be fair, what I do with audio, which is with 2 I's, audio.com, I don't use Epidemic Sound, as I've picked out all of the tunes that I want. I've created a file in Audacity where I've mixed them together. I've normalized the volumes, and I know that there's no massive dips in content there that if something tails off at the end of the song before the next one kicks in, I make sure to blend that together so there's no big gaps and things like that. And then I save that as one file. And that could be a 45-minute soundtrack. And that's what plays in the background of my live streams. So I already know that all the songs are going to be just fine. They're all instrumentals. They're all at the same volume, because that always trips me up that things get a little crazy. So if there are playlist features and other pieces of software that can do that for me automatically, that would be kind of interesting. But in one shot, I've done it it's taken me, 20, 30 minutes to put that together. And that's just the soundtrack I play behind every live stream I do.
I was going to ask Michelle. Okay, so I was on board with Jasper for a while, and obviously there was a fee monthly, and God bless capitalism. I have no problem with that, but I was just not finding it to be the tool that I needed at that level. I was buying a howitzer when I needed a BB gun, and so I kind of moved down to Copy AI, which was significantly cheaper. And then now we've got ChatGPT, which, if you use it correctly, is free and could be just as good as anything else. There are resources showing where a number of companies are using OpenAI they're building front ends, they're monetizing it to create new tools. Are you so deep into Jasper, Michelle, that you can't pull yourself away? Or what, have you dabbled? Have you cheated on Jasper?
Well, I tried, but I'm a loyal person, right? I tried. So Canva has an AI component to them, and it's pretty good because I'm in Canva. I'm like, oh, this makes so much sense. I could do everything in one place. But at the same time, I guess I've created so much, um, I've created so much content with Jasper that I'm not sure if all of the different ones, and I'm sure they probably do have all these different components of it where you could create different things. You just give it the command and it'll create whatever. But I'm team boss mode, Jasper team boss mode, because that is working at its highest level. I don't have to worry about, oh yeah, you can get this for free, but if you want the car to run or you want the engine to go with that, you're gonna have to get this. I don't got time for that. I want it to.
ChatGPT is like boss mode on steroids, though. It's like that is what it is. It's definitely worth checking out. I've been diving into that for the past week. There's probably another whole episode in this, but I've been really impressed with it. It's really great for writing Excel macros, code scripts, and all that kind of stuff as well. You can literally tell it to write you a macro, but
wow,
it's
that's
amazing.
incredible. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There was I was in a phone call and with a lawyer yesterday, and his wife, who's a friend of mine also, comes in, to this Zoom call and just pokes her head in and goes, "Rob, have you ever heard of ChatGPT?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for a few weeks." And she goes, she works for a company that uses software development a lot, and their software development team went out and tested ChatGPT writing Python code. And then they were also able to put in current Python code snippets and have it QA the code and not only find the error in the code, offer corrected code as well as a full dialogue of what they had done and why they had done it in plain English. And it just kicked it out in like a minute or two.
Man,
so
if it could do that with AppleScript, that would be cool because we can all use that.
I give it a try. I would just ask it if it knows how to do that.
I never thought about that.
The thing that we have that I have seen is that it learns, and there was a article that was discussing it couldn't do a particular math problem, but enough people started to ask it the math problem and provide the corrected answer that it started to be able to figure that math problem out for itself and displayed it, and then went on to be able to do other math problems correctly too.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I'll look into that.
Yeah,
I use Jasper too, and Jasper also has a Chrome plugin, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're in YouTube and you need to write a quick rewrite of a description or something like that, you just hit the plugin and do it without having to go into Jasper and a new tab and everything else.
Yeah, I know if I were to buy into anything again, it would be Jasper.
Well, I'm only in it because I bought a year. I wouldn't be paying for it,
right.
and it snuck up on me. It's one of those things that renewed without you looking. So they tagged me for another $900 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So and I use it still. I'm not sore about it, but I wish I didn't. I'd rather.
Yeah, if you use it, it's fine. Yeah.
That's the thing is now that other thing came out, though, I'd rather use that because it doesn't cost anything.
When we all talk about new software things, the thing that I do, probably the rest of us do, is I immediately go out to that website and I dig in and I look at it and I get the free version or whatever, or 30 days, just put your credit card in, don't worry about it, we won't charge your credit card, that type of thing. And what I've ended up doing is that I'm leaving a trail for myself of all these different little software things that I've signed up for that I've now had to go back and unsubscribe from or whatever else. Because I got tagged I don't, I got tagged by Epidemic Sound, and I don't mind that because I use Epidemic Sound a lot. But it was just all of a sudden, oh, here's $250 on your credit card. Yeah, okay, great, okay, thanks. But other than that, yeah, you just I think that if there was a decent way to track all of your subscriptions, so that you
just got to set
wouldn't get
calendar
tagged for that.
reminders. I think Keely just set up something in her ClickUp, I think.
I did. Part of my yearly review is I just spontaneously started a list of everything in my tech stack. So it's got the logins in there, the renewal dates, the monthly, the annual, or the lifetime license prices. And ClickUp has a feature that if you have designated a particular field or that turns into a column that is currency, you can click at the bottom of that column and it'll just calculate it for you. And whether that's the sum, the average, or the range, it'll do all of that just with one click, and boom, it's there. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, now I see exactly what I'm spending my money on every month and every year. And when that money's coming out, because it shows up now in my calendar that syncs over through to my regular Apple calendars. But what that brings me to, and we're starting to sort of get there, is are there any pieces of software in your collection that you're thinking, you know what? I'm going to let this go. This isn't serving me anymore. I found something else, or I'm just not using this the way that I thought I would. And I'll start with one piece of my tech stack that I'm replacing is that I've been a MailChimp user for a long time. I'm really bad at sending out my email campaigns regularly. I'm terrible at it, but I do use it for onboarding into my memberships and things like that. And I bought one of those deals at AppSumo, thanks to Alec's affiliate link, and picked up SendFox. And it doesn't have the features that MailChimp has, but boy, is the price ever nice. And for the way that I don't use my emails the way that I should, it's going to fit me really well. Do you guys have anything like that on your horizon this year that you're like, yeah, I'm getting out of this game and I'm going to the next thing? Michelle, what do you got?
I did the same thing with oh crap, what's the name of it? It's Active Campaign. So that's my email service provider. I've had them forever. I've just been giving them money. I'm like, here, take my money. Just take my money. Because just like you, I haven't been sending out things the way I'm supposed to either. So what I replaced it with was Kajabi, because I'm building courses and doing all the things. And Kajabi has they have all of those things. Yeah, I could do my email campaigns. I can do my landing pages. I can do all the different things all in one place. And I just let that go. So I just let that go. And I know there's more stuff on there. So basically all I'm doing is going through my my statement, my bank statement, going, oh, really? I've been paying for that? It's off the list now. So yeah, but most recently Active Campaign was the first to get the chop this year.
I can see that. Yeah. Because I was on MailChimp as well for the campaign. And my MailChimp bill was $225 a month. Because I was doing, I was sending out 15,000 emails at a time. Wow. And so I can't complain about it. It kind of did what I wanted. I think I probably could have set it up a little better, a little earlier, and verified the domain. I was getting great deliverability up front, but over time the deliverability kind of went down. I was still probably okay with it, but it was a couple $100 a month. It was charged to my campaign, obviously. But seriously, as soon as the campaign was over, the first thing I did was signed on to MailChimp and cut them off immediately. And I had a couple other software packages too that I did too, but nothing at the level of what I was doing with MailChimp. But yeah, it's and I'm on Kajabi as well, and that's what I'm focusing on as well for those things. But any time I can save a couple $100 a month, because they could have sat around just festering for a while. I just made sure that I cut it straight out right away.
I have another one that I was using for a while when I was really heavy on Facebook. ManyChat is a chatbot feature that, manages my business page and stuff like that. I used to build bots a while ago, when I had a different mentor then, and she was really big into bots. And so, we created all these different things, and it was really kind of cool because, all the kids were doing it. And yeah, so I let them go because I'm really not focused on Facebook. And for me, Facebook is a time suck. It literally is a time suck. And if I could get rid of Facebook, child, it'd be a lovely day. But but yeah, ManyChat is another one that that I had to tell them get the step in. So it was annoying too because when you're talking to a bot, you just do.
Yeah.
And so I kind of want my interactions to be a little bit more genuine, or I guess be more creative with the bots. But the bots are learning. So
I dropped MailChimp also, but it wasn't necessarily a cost savings for me. It was an effort savings. So I went to ConvertKit because it integrates with some of the other things that I'm doing. It's just easier for me to put up on WordPress for landing pages, things like that, subscribes, and then the integration with campsite.bio. So for me, it was a savings of my time and effort. And I think it might be $5 more a month. I'm not entirely sure, but at my size, it just made sense. It was cheap enough.
I kind of have my feet in two places when it comes to the website software. So I have the WordPress software, the WordPress site, and then I also have the Kajabi site. Right now, everything is on WordPress, and I'm slowly moving it to Kajabi. But I don't know. I kind of have my feet in both places. I kind of like owning my own stuff, but and not putting all of my eggs in one basket. But I also like the fact that in Kajabi, there's everything there, and I don't have to Frankenstein it to make it work. So I don't know. I'm kind of weighing
and they're
things.
responsive. I think the thing that we don't talk about enough is the people on the other end of software. And the upside with Kajabi is that there is a good community, there's good support from the company itself. And so, I'm really surprised when somebody has a complaint about it, because every time I've ever had a question or a need, they've jumped on it, and I've gotten questions answered in 5 or 10 minutes and been able to move on with my day. So it's the Swiss Army knife of software, but at the same time, it's got good people behind it. It's not just, and that's the thing that I'll cancel subscription of something in a heartbeat if I don't think I can talk to a human being or get some comment back from somebody, on something. If somebody, comes back and gives me an honest explanation, even if there's something down, I'm fine with it. I can move on. I work in an industry. I work, where, there's no such thing as 100% uptime ever in anything. In healthcare, it's, it's more aggravating than not because it's patient care, and you don't want an injured patient. But in terms of Kajabi, I think the thing that always surprises me is that every once in a while Kajabi goes down, and it's nothing to panic about, and it'll be back up soon. Just take a deep breath, go get a coffee, and just move on with your day. Don't think that the world is burning down. And I'm, not just Kajabi, any SaaS-based software. Face it, folks, stuff goes down. Even Adobe Web or Amazon Web Services will go down, and then they come back up, and no one dies. Okay. See, now there was a piece of software that Rich moved away from. He got rid of Salesforce.
Yeah, I'm using HubSpot instead of Salesforce, but that's not really content creation. That's more running my business kind of shit. Which is, it's fine. It's something I use.
Well, okay. So I guess I'm going back to, if it helps you earn money, it's an important part. It's just another tool.
Yeah, but this whole podcast is about content creation. It's not about.
I know.
Not about whatever, writing a word. I mean, it can be whatever you want.
But HubSpot can be used in different ways. It can host your website just like Kajabi can. So.
It absolutely can, and it can replace MailChimp, and it can do a whole lot of stuff. And I just haven't I haven't tore into it like that. And so that's what I need to, because it's pretty expensive. But in fact, if I wanted to do what Agorapulse can do, it's $800 a month, which is crazy. You don't have to buy that part, but it's stupid,
right?
Because Agorapulse is $120 and Radar is $60. All you can do, so forever. So Radar is just as good as all that stuff. So
I notice Alec's been very quiet in this whole segment about getting rid of software, because we might be able to accuse him, never mind gas, but maybe it's more like SaaS, the software acquisition syndrome. He's the big guy in software. Is there anything, Alec, that you've seen in your tech stack recently and you said, don't need that, that's gone? Or anything like that for you?
Not really, actually. I suppose there's things that I've tried, like Descript, and then I went on and off it, and then I'm back on it. And so I am kind of putting that to use now, finally. So there's been things like that. But the core things that I mentioned earlier, those are all still, very much the core of everything. I always try out new stuff, and, I cover, setup apps and things like that, but I tend to find a use for them. Don't know offhand of something that I've just thought, I'm done with it. I suppose for me, Agorapulse would have been one like that I did try it and just never got into it, and replaced that with Radar for scheduling. So there would be that, I suppose. But yeah, I can't.
I'm not familiar with Radar.
It's like Agorapulse, but you can get it on AppSumo for a one-off payment, as opposed to $100 a month. So it's like $50 for a lifetime license, or 50 something. And it's for sort of scheduling posts out. It's got some limitations, but then, I was just trying to not be adding on another monthly subscription, because those can all quickly sort of add up. So,
yeah. Well, Michelle and I use another product. So, and my subscription to that comes due on the 11th.
You can name names. What are you talking about?
Smarter Q.
Okay.
Smarter Q.
Yeah.
And what I liked about Smarter Q over Buffer and some of the other products is that, they're not limiting. Well, they offer a lot more access to different accounts. I was able to have my campaign stuff and a couple of different separate things and a personal one. So I had those different things built, and it works really well. I'm probably not using it to its fullest means, but I can honestly say I'm a lot happier with that than I was with Buffer, or what was the other one that started with an H?
Hootsuite.
Huh? Hootsuite. Yeah. I went through the Hootsuite, and then I went in through Buffer, and now I'm happy where I'm at right now. But it's going to be another $400.
A year? It's not a month. Oh, it's a year. Yeah, I would look at Radar. Look at Radar. You can get it for $60 or $59, I think.
Join us, Rob. Join us with Radar.
I actually did it. I did it.
You got to learn to translate. You got to translate English to Russian to whatever that accent is, or I don't know where he's from.
But that's kind of the fun thing about this group, is that obviously we spend a lot of time talking about the tools that we're using and what we found is working and what isn't working. And hey, you should try this. Oh, I think this is really going to work for you. Oh, you should get off this thing. And although we do have our differences, we have migrated to certain things that we've realized, no matter what kind of content creator we are, these tools are quite optimized with the way that we have come into this space and the journeys that we're on right now. So, Radar is one of them. Obviously, Ecamm's the big one as well. But I think it's really cool how we're able to give each other that information and sort that out. So
we forgot TubeBuddy.
Oh my God! Yes.
Did we forget TubeBuddy? Because I was about to toss TubeBuddy.
I tossed it all.
Oh.
I got rid of it all.
Services, though, like the sort of the things like subscriptions and services like TubeBuddy, Epidemic, and all that. I've always classed those. I don't really think of those in the same way as apps, but I suppose they are. They're just web apps. But I didn't really think about that one. Big one for me, though. That's for sure.
Wow. You kicking two buddy to the
we
curb.
I had
No, I
six-
think it's
six
just that
accounts.
integrated into our reality. I think it's just deep
That we've
in,
forgotten.
Yeah, it's
that
not an
we
app.
don't even
It's
know
just
that
a
it's
part
like
of
right
YouTube
here.
at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that part of YouTube?
Yeah.
It says so right on the tin. It says it's their buddy. It says it right there.
Exactly. Exactly. Read the tin, folks.
Well, this was great. This was great. I'm sure that we gave those who are listening to us some good information to maybe look up some new stuff. Maybe you might find something that works perfect for you, that works in your ecosystem, or maybe you found some other things that maybe that's not something that I could use. But I'm hoping that you got some good information from our conversation today. And yeah, this was a great one. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for hopping into our Creators Pod. If you enjoyed it, we'd love if you would subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and tell all of your friends. Check out the video version on our YouTube channel, Creators Pod. The Creators Pod is produced by C22 Media, Alec Johnson, Dina Taylor, Michelle Lawrence, Rich Graham, Rob Vaules, and me, Keely Dunn. Thanks, friends.
Get off my lawn.